Your Ford F-150 pickup truck just got that much more expensive. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the UAW strike. That's the United Auto Workers, and they're on strike against the big three manufacturers in the USA, Ford, GM, Stellantis. They want about a 36% increase in pay, and the big three are saying, we'll give you about 21%. That is the gap between them. And I think right now we're in day 4 or 5 of the strike. And I don't see the strike coming to an end anytime soon. But if and when it does come to an end, I guarantee the price of your American-made vehicle will rise a lot. It's going to go through the roof. And before we get into the details, the nuance and whatnot of the strike and a news clip and article, let's look at just a handful of vehicle prices. Now, if you've shopped for a new car recently, you've seen some of these prices, astronomical. This right here for Ford F-150 King Ranch 2023, I believe it's brand new, no miles on it. This costs $78,500. That's not even that much. That's kind of like okay for F-150. $78,500. Now, we have a couple more to get through. Now, you want to kind of soup it up a little bit, get you something nice and fancy for F-150 Shelby 2023. You're looking at $133,700. $133,000 for this F-150. Okay, I mean, and this price, 100 grand, is not even necessarily that absurd. Some vehicles are going to cost you that much, and we're not even in the luxury territory. I mean, that's luxury, I guess, for a Ford F-150. We're not talking about Maserati or Porsche or anything, Lamborghini. We're talking about a Ford F-150 pickup truck. Now, let's look here. This is a Ford Mustang 2023 GT Premium, $125,000. And they say, you know what? It's kind of a deal because MSRP is $129,000 for a Mustang. Now, I have a Mustang myself, but I did not pay 6 figures. I paid lower than $50,000. I'm not going to pay $130,000 almost dollars for a Ford Mustang. Okay, is that even? That's not even a Bullet. That's not even a Shelby. We're talking about just a regular Ford F-150, a Ford Mustang GT, $130,000. Now, if and or when you're able to get almost a 40% increase in pay at Ford, GM, Stellantis, this $125,000 will appear to be a deal. And I'm not sure how they're going to do it because you have other car manufacturers that exist and they're going to compete. Tesla even has a lower per hour production rate than the proposed for GM Stellantis rates for EVs and things of that nature. Now, before I go any further, let's get into a news clip. Of course, I will link to the clip in the article in the description box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, now to the historic UAW strike against Detroit's big three automakers, where little progress is being made in the negotiations. With the walkout now in its 4th day, both sides remain far apart when it comes to getting a new deal. CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports again from Michigan.
Tonight, as striking workers continue to man the picket line, the Auto Workers Union is poised to expand the walkout as soon as this week if there's no deal with the big three automakers. Union President Shawn Fain.
Our members are fed up. Our members deserve more, and if they continue down this path, then we'll continue to amp up our strategy as far as striking goes.
UAW is currently seeking up to a 40% raise over 4 years, as well as job and cost of living protections. The
40%. I mean, just remember, I showed you the prices of some of these vehicles, and that was just a handful. I mean, there's many more vehicles that are just way, way, way too expensive. Inflation has hit the entire economy, and it did not spare the auto industry, especially here in the USA. 40% increase. I mean, the inflation that's happening right now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
The union rejected offers from Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler parent Stellantis centered around a 20% raise.
We've been under the thumb of these billion-dollar industries for a long time, and we're fighting back.
So far, just 3 plants have been targeted, limiting the economic impact.
I think it's premature to be making forecasts about what it means for the economy. It would depend very much on...
Oh, come on, man. It's pretty easy to see if you increase pay by the 40%, which is their demand, the max demand, or even what the big three are offering, the 21%, if you increase the price of labor, you're going to increase the price of the actual vehicles.
How long the strike lasts.
Already affected is the Northland Chrysler dealership in Oak Park, Michigan. 70% of their customers are UAW workers. You may not have inventory, but you also may not have buyers.
Correct. Not having a paycheck for a week is an impact on the buyers themselves. So they're not going to be able to come in and do that basic service.
So now we're seeing the impacts on the economy on a small scale, of course. Okay, if the majority of your customers are UAW workers and they're not getting paid, you're not going to get paid either. And then what about some of the other ancillary businesses, the restaurants and shops and things of that nature? They're going to see a decrease in their money. But that's just a small example of the impact on the economy. If they get their wish and they get the 20, 40% increase in pay, you're going to see a large impact on the economy when you're talking about auto dealers throughout the country.
They can't buy a car if they're not actually working.
Now, the automakers are signaling while they are talking with the union, they're yet to make new offers. And across the border in Canada, about 5,000 Ford workers could walk off the job at midnight when their labor agreement expires. Those negotiations are continuing. Laura?
All right, so there we have it. That's what's happening right now with the strike. Now, I read that I think Ford laid off like 600 employees because of the strike, that the strike prevented them from being able to do their job. They're just pretty much sitting there doing nothing because they're not able to get certain materials. And since they can't get the materials, they can't work. So they went ahead and laid them off. Now, it might be permanent, temporary, or whatever. I'm not really sure. I'm going to get into the article a little bit here to see if I can glean any other information. But that's what's happening. This video is being recorded on Tuesday, September the 19th. So things could change. But again, they got a really big gap. You're talking about 20%, 40%. That's the gap right now. And if they meet in the middle, if they even go down to the 20%, it's going to be a really big impact on the country for sure. All right. So the strike is limited to 13,000 workers, three factories, et cetera, et cetera. Let me see. So there it is right there. It says Ford on Friday moved temporarily lay off 600 non-striking workers. Yeah, they're not even striking. It's because the strike impacted their work. So they can't even, get from point A to point B. It's a mess. All right. Janet Yellen talking about it may not affect it. It's a little bit too early to tell. Let me see. Experts say the strike could drive up new and used car prices and cause a loss of $5.6 billion in wages and automaker earnings. I mean, didn't we already bail these people out? What's going to happen when they need to get bailed out again? Are we going to do it again? Is this the United States taxpayers subsidizing auto workers and the auto industry, at least the American auto industry? Again, because how are you going to compete if your prices are so high to where your vehicles just become unaffordable? How are you going to be able to compete with your Toyota, Kia, even Hyundai? Tesla? How are you going to compete with them? I don't really understand. I will link to this article and the video that you just saw in the box, but that's what's going on right now. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is something that should happen, shouldn't happen? I think that this is going to be a really big impact on society. And as far as used cars, new cars especially, it's going to be a really big impact. Maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the whole situation? What's going to be the impact of the strike? Will they be able to get their 40%? Are they going to get to 20%? Are they going to meet somewhere in the middle? whatever your thoughts on the whole thing are, let me know in the comments below. Do you work, I guess, under the umbrella of UAW? Do you work for one of the big three auto manufacturers, Ford, GM, Stellantis, Chrysler? If you have any thoughts and opinions about that from that perspective, let me know in the comments. You guys know where I'm at. This is just going to cause the price of your vehicles to go up. It's going to be expensive. I showed you how much these vehicles are costing right now, even before the strike has impacted them. For a Ford Mustang, not even a Shelby, a Bullitt, you're talking about $130,000. I mean, you might see the day and age of non-luxury $200,000 cars. I mean, at a certain point, houses were costing this much. Now we have cars costing this much. The inflation in the USA is completely out of control. And this strike is not going to do anything to lessen the impacts of inflation. In fact, it's most certainly going to inflate it even more. No pun intended. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.